The war between humans and the Valorians had lasted for years. 4 years of misunderstanding, failed diplomacy, and one incident after another spiraling into catastrophe. But this battlefield wasn't part of the war plans. It was an ambush, one that would have wiped out our entire division if not for the warnings sent moments before the enemy descended. Later, I would learn who sent that message. At first, all I saw was a flicker of blue armor collapsing behind a flaming transport pod. Valorian armor. The enemy. I should have ignored it and kept firing. I should have stayed with my squad. But something in the way the figure fell, it wasn't defensive or tactical. It was helpless. And I'd never been good at leaving someone behind. I sprinted across the field, plasma fire scorching the air around me. Around the ruined pod, I found her, an alien woman slumped against the metal, blood glowing faintly silver as it seeped through a crack in her chest plate. Her eyes fluttered open, bright, luminescent violet, unlike any Valorian soldier I'd ever encountered. "You came," she whispered. "You're wounded," I said, kneeling. "Don't move." "You shouldn't be here," she murmured weakly. "They're hunting me." That was enough for me. I hooked my arms beneath hers and lifted. She cried out, pain lancing through her body. She was lighter than I expected. Valorians were taller, but often had denser musculature. She felt almost frail. "Hold on," I said. "I'm getting you out." She tried to protest. "You don't understand. If they catch me, both our races will suffer." But I didn't give her time to argue. I forced my failing exopack to power up and shield us both as I carried her through the chaos, through smoke and corpses and the deafening roar of explosions. Her head rested against my shoulder. Her breathing slowed. "Why are you helping me?" she whispered. "Because you're dying," I said simply. "And I don't leave people to die." When she finally fainted, I tightened my grip and kept moving until the battlefield fell silent behind us. Middle, the heir to the Valorian throne. She woke up in our mobile medical tent hours later. I was sitting beside her, helmet off, filthy and exhausted. "You're safe," I told her. She stared at me for a long time. "My name is Princess Salira Vaylor, first heir of the Valorian sovereignty." My breath caught. The heir. I had carried the future queen of our enemy across a battlefield. "If they knew what you'd done," she said softly, "your own commanders would call you a traitor." "Let them try," I muttered. She laughed, weak, but genuine. "You're strange, human." Salira explained everything. She had secretly been negotiating a peace treaty when a militaristic faction within her own people labeled her a traitor and tried to kill her, staging the ambush so humans would be blamed. She had sent the emergency warning to our division to prevent a massacre, but she hadn't expected to survive. "I thought my death would be the price for peace," she admitted. "Not anymore," I said. "I won't let anyone kill you." She looked at me with stunned disbelief, as though no one had ever said those words to her before. The escape. When our commanders learned who she was, panic erupted. Humans feared political backlash. Some wanted to hand her over to avoid war crimes accusations. Others wanted to use her as leverage. "No," I told them. "She risked her life to save ours. You're not handing her over." "You don't outrank the council, Commander Rowan," General Harker snapped. I glanced at Salira, slumped in the cot, still weak, eyes heavy but defiant. "Then I'll desert," I said. "And I'll take her with me." The room went silent. In the end, they relented, barely. We were allowed to escort her back to Valorian territory so she could confront the traitors trying to overthrow her mother, Queen Aradel. Salira insisted I go with her. "You saved my life. You're the only one I trust." So we left at dusk, traveling through irradiated valleys, abandoned outposts, and silent ruins. Along the way, she told me stories about Valorian starlight festivals, about her mother's diplomatic hopes, about her people's fear that humans would destroy their sacred forests. And I told her about Earth, about blue skies and oceans she'd never seen. Somewhere on that journey, something quiet settled between us. Trust. Connection. Maybe something deeper. At one point, when she stumbled from exhaustion, I caught her. She leaned into my arms as if it were the most natural thing in the world. "You always carry me," she murmured. "I'll stop if it bothers you." "It doesn't," she whispered. The palace coup. By the time we reached Valor's capital city, crystal spires gleaming beneath the nebulous sky, the coup was already underway. The traitorous High Marshal Darren had locked down the palace. Queen Aradel was imprisoned, and Salira was presumed dead. We smuggled ourselves inside through an old servant's tunnel. The palace was eerily quiet, guards patrolling every hall. "Jace," Salira whispered, gripping my hand. "If we fail, we won't. You don't understand. If Darren kills Mother, the throne will fall to me. And if I die, then I'll carry you again," I said, trying to smile. She touched my cheek. "You're reckless. You like it." She said nothing, but her silence was answer enough. The final battle. Darren found us before we reached the throne chamber. "Salira," he sneered. "Still alive. A shame. Your mother's idealism has infected you, consorting with a human no less." Salira stepped forward, wounded but unafraid. "You betrayed the sovereignty. And you betrayed strength," Darren spat. "You would end our war with humans? Ally with them? Marry them?" His gaze flicked toward me. "At least he's loyal," she said. Darren lunged. I shoved Salira aside and took the hit. His energy blade sliced across my armor, burning straight through to my shoulder. Pain exploded through me, but I held my ground and swung back. He was stronger, faster, enhanced by the Royal Guard implants. But he underestimated one thing. I wasn't fighting for politics. I was fighting for her. When he threw me to the floor and turned towards Salira, something primal surged in me. I grabbed the nearest fallen spear, Valorian craftsmanship, light but razor-sharp, and charged. He never expected a human to wield Valorian weaponry. With one clean strike, I disabled his armor. Salira delivered the final blow, binding him in royal energy cuffs. The palace fell silent. We freed Queen Aradel minutes later. The ending. The Queen's declaration. Queen Aradel was regal even in chains, her silver hair flowing over ceremonial armor. When she saw Salira, she nearly collapsed with relief. "My daughter," she whispered. "I feared you gone." Salira held her tightly. "Mother, this human saved me, carried me through battle, protected me when our own people would not." The Queen turned to me. Her violet eyes were sharp. They saw everything. "Commander Rowan," she said, "you risked your life for my heir. Why?" I swallowed. "Because she was alone," I said honestly. "Because she chose peace. Because she matters." Salira's lips parted slightly, as if my words struck something deep within her. Queen Aradel studied me for a long time, then nodded. In Valorian tradition, the one who bears the heir from battlefield to safety earns a sacred bond. A life tie. A union. My heart stopped. Salira froze. "Mother, you carried her through fire," the Queen continued. "You protected the future of our people with your own blood. Such devotion cannot be ignored." Salira looked at me, not with shock, but something gentler, warmer. "Do you object, daughter?" Salira inhaled. Then she stepped toward me, slowly, deliberately. "No," she said softly. "I don't." The queen raised her staff. "Then let it be known across Valor and all allied realms," she declared, her voice echoing through the crystalline hall. "This human, Jace Rowan, is now bound to my daughter. By ancient right, by valor, and by heart, he is her chosen. He shall stand beside her as consort and future king." My breath left me. Salira approached, placing her hand gently against my chest. "You saved my life," she whispered. "Now I will share the rest of it with you if you'll have me." I lifted her hand, holding it against my heart. "I carried you once," I murmured. "I'll carry you for as long as you want me." Her eyes glimmered. Then it settled. A roar of approval rose from the newly freed Valorian guards. Queen Aradel smiled, a rare, relieved expression. The war was officially over. Not because of treaties, not because of negotiations, but because one human refused to leave one alien woman to die. Epilogue. The first human consort months later, peace thrived between our worlds. Trade opened. Armies stood down. And I, once a simple human soldier, walked through the palace as the first human consort in Valorian history. Salira stood on the balcony beside me, her hand warm in mine. "Strange, isn't it?" she murmured. "How fate works." "Very," I agreed. "But I'm not complaining." Below us, children played between humans and Valorians alike. For the first time in years, the future looked bright. Salira leaned her head on my shoulder. "You were my shield in war," she whispered, "and you will be my strength in peace." I wrapped an arm around her. "And you," I said softly, "will always be the woman I carried through battle and into my life." The twin suns set beyond the horizon, bathing the capital in brilliant gold. And thus began the reign of a princess saved by compassion, and a human whose heart changed the fate of worlds.